Salisbury Plain in southern England. 2500 BC. At the same time as the pyramids in Egypt are under construction, workers here complete the outer circle of Stonehenge. They haul huge rocks, some weighing up to 45 tons, across rough terrain. They work each granite-like stone into shape, then pull them upright to form the great stone circle. Thousands of people work on this massive project. When they complete this phase, an inner horseshoe of 5 great arches will be enclosed by a ring of 30 stone uprights and topped by a circle of perfectly horizontal stones called lintels. But while we know this was an incredible feat of engineering, who these people were and why they built Stonehenge has remained one of the great unsolved mysteries of the ancient world.
You know, there are thousands upon thousands of prehistoric sites around Britain, and if you just count stone circles, nothing else, just stone circles, there's nearly 1,000 of them. It's incredible that out of all those sites, most people only seem to know this one.
Now obviously, I'm not being dismissive of Stonehenge itself. Just the fact that when visitors come to marvel at the imposing monoliths, they miss the scale and significance of the entire complex. There are literally hundreds of prehistoric sites spreading for miles in all directions. Earthworks, long barrows, avenues of stones, burial sites, and the massive cursus, they all show that this was a huge, thriving community. Woodhenge, a couple of miles northeast, is the remains of a complex timber structure, probably an enclosed circular building which sat on its own raised mound, long since flattened by ploughing. West Kennet Long Barrow to the north, at 350 feet long, is the largest chambered tomb in England and Wales, and a little further north again is Silbury Hill, the biggest man-made mound in Europe. It's estimated that to build this giant would have taken 500 men working every day for 10 years. The term henge originally came from Stonehenge. In Old English it refers to the hanging stones or lintels, but it came to mean something quite different, and ironically Stonehenge itself is not, strictly speaking, a henge. Henges have a ditch inside the raised bank, but at Stonehenge the ditch lies on the outside, which implies that they had quite different functions. The true henge of this vast Wiltshire complex is Avebury. Avebury is over 20 miles north of Stonehenge, a short day's walk for our ancestors, and it is without doubt the grandest ceremonial site in Britain. Today its splendour is really only visible from the air, but when it was built it must have been a breathtaking sight. When Avebury was excavated in the early part of the 20th century, the surrounding ditch was found to have been sheer-sided and 30 feet deep. On the outside of the ditch was a wide, flat terrace running at the foot of the bank, which towered 20 feet above the central earthwork. Our ancestors excavated 150,000 tons of chalk rubble to create the ditch, an immense undertaking for something clearly of immense importance. And it wasn't the only one in the region. 50 miles to the west in Somerset stands the deceptive stone circle of Stanton Drew.
It looks pretty boring, doesn't it? An enormous stone circle with a smaller outer one at each end. But its bland appearance on the landscape gives no clue as to its original scale and importance. This circle is over 100 metres across. Now in diameter that makes it second only to the vastness of Avebury. Some years ago, the Ancient Monuments Laboratory of English Heritage carried out a magnetometer survey across the whole site, and what they discovered is breathtaking. Inside the circle were 9 concentric rings of wooden posts, each post a metre apart and each post a metre or more across. Now you don't use a post a metre or more across unless you need it to be tall, and on top of that the whole site was surrounded by a ditch and a raised bank. It may have been wood, but this would have been every bit as impressive as the stone circles of Stonehenge and Avebury.
You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? And you can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. I never made promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left we'll walk in fields of gold.